Yes, a topic that I'm very familiar with, something I can help people out with, and I do help out people with in my spare time over on Instagram. People will ask me because I collect Japanese Pokemon cards, hey, where do you get Japanese product from? Where do you grab specific things from? And I always say the exact same thing. You're going to get them from Poke&E. I got all my stuff in the description below. Feel free to use the code if you want to pick up something. Not going to plug his stuff too much, but I use him myself. I actually buy stuff from him myself. I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't use it myself. There you go. That's what I recommend. But there's a lot of people that don't want to do that. There's a lot of people that would rather buy it from somewhere else, rather like Japan, eBay, specific people in the TCG space, other stores, yada yada. People have their own places they go. There's one place universally, though, I always recommend people staying away from because the reputation for it is just abysmal, and it's really not getting any better as like Japanese Pokemon cards are progressing further. It's not getting any better, and I've had so many instances where people have bought from this place and they just get screwed, whether it's boxes, singles not coming in the right condition, or just straight up not getting the right card at all. That would be Mercari, specifically Japan Mercari. Just do not buy anything from there, and I'm going to show you a very specific reason why you shouldn't. I'm sure there's some great sellers on there. I'm sure there's some fantastic people, but I've seen this shit happening way too often to ever recommend that for anybody. Let me show you a video. This is courtesy of r/Pokemon TCG. Very sorry this happened to you, homie, but this is a great learning lesson for everybody. Roll that clip. So I'm just going to let this footage roll as I'm talking about this. So this kind of stuff happening right here where reseals are happening on specific boxes, this was not really an uncommon thing to happen for Japanese product that long ago, especially for the set that this guy is opening. That is Clayburst, and that is the other half of Paldea Evolved, specifically the half that has Iono in it. Yes, that very same Iono that drove everybody nuts, and is seemingly just everyone's forgotten that the card even exists. They've moved on to bigger, better, grander cards, but that's where this is from, and this is why it was worth people's time, because Iono, not really super, super expensive. It's still an expensive card. Nowhere near what it used to be, but at one point that card was literally going for like $1,800, $2,000 USD, and then like was stabilized for a long ass time at about $1,600 to $1,200 USD once again. And it was very much worth people's time to go through these boxes and actually do that. Clayburst is an example of it. Let me show you an example of a box where it's not actually going to be worth someone's time. You got Wild Force right here. This is going to have all the Paradox Ancient Pokemon in it right there. Not worth somebody's time currently. When people ask me specifically about booster boxes from Japan fucking being resealed, the biggest thing I always am going to look at first, and before I even look at it, is what box is it. If it's going to be something like Wild Force, it is more than likely not even worth anyone's time to even try to reseal it. Not going to say it's impossible, and there's not some psychotic fool out there that wants to steal your money off of some ancient Paradox Pokemon, but the likelihood of that is super low because the risk reward is way too low, and the margin they're going to get is just fucking stupid. Something like Clayburst, though, where the fucking biggest chase card in the set for like $100 box at the time, I think the box is like cheaper now, I think it's like 50, 60 bucks or something. The chase card for that, where it was like a fucking $1,600 card, was way worth it for some people, and I really do feel like people that are buying 151 booster boxes here in the future from Japan, you're going to probably run into this problem a little bit more as they start going and coming and all that shit, where people are going to really try to get as much as they can out of these boxes while scamming the shit out of you. Like 151, I really do think people are going to go out of their way to reseal some of those, especially if some of the singles in that set actually go up. None of the singles in 151 Japan are really that expensive right this second, but the boxes themselves are going to have a premium for them because A, it's a booster box, it's an actual set from Japan, B, it has that Master Ball reverse chase in it that a lot of people really like. But booster boxes like this, There's 100% worth someone's time or do it purely for the box price alone. Yes, the evolutions are pretty cool. Some of the evolutions are kind of going up and down. None of them are really at the crazy heights they once were, but not to say that they won't be like that in the future. Really depends on what people decide to put their money into. But I mean, fishing out a Umbreon VMAX versus a Gordy, that is 100% worth someone's time. And if you're buying specific boxes such as EV Heroes, you really need to make sure you're buying from reputable sources and really, really, really research where you're getting that stuff. That was the solution for the CT scanner bullshit where people could have had packs doing this and that. That's going to be the solution for resealed booster boxes easily. You're going to need to buy from people that you know are going to have your back if you do get a resealed box, like people that can actually take care of that, or someone who you are fucking 99.9% sure is never going to do that. 100% sure, maybe, but especially coming from like Japan over to the States, it's going to probably exchange a couple hands. You can never be 100% sure in that case, but the more factors you can take out of that, the better. And it really sucks for people that are trying to get into Japanese. If this is like someone's first experience doing it, I remember when like Clayburst was the case for that. Some people were actually getting majorly boned off that. V-Star Universe was another one. Didn't happen tons, but it happened enough where it was definitely something people needed to be very mindful of. And the risk versus reward for resealing these cases, Japan's doing some good reseals. They're doing some crazy reseals where the boxes are really hard to tell unless you're fucking very knowledgeable about how it comes from Japan straight from there. And the cases themselves, they're getting crazy with that glue. The cases come sealed and like glued and stuff like that. People are getting very good at just actually being able to dissect the case and then put everything back in it like it never happened. It's crazy. I wish it wasn't that way. Japanese cards are awesome, and I love that people are able to experience them the same way I do. It's just crazy that you got to watch out for that, and it's a very real threat that's going to start happening for some of the older Japanese sets as they go up. There's shitty people everywhere, and there's shitty people that are going to take advantage of every step of the way. Just be very careful where you're buying from. Yeah, and Mercari, I would just not recommend like anything Japanese from there personally. Like I said, sorry to the good people that are on there that sell. I've just seen way more shit happen on that site than any other one when it comes to sellers. So I got. Appreciate it, Virgin Gang. See you later. Be safe. Watch your boxes and just careful, really, for sure. There's some real scummy assholes out there.